Welcome. All
Hi.
right, today's class is going to be a little different. I'm teaching instead of Brooklyn. I know you're mostly used to hearing Brooklyn, but I have a long history and passion for email marketing.
Yes.
So I am taking the lead on this one, just because it kind of makes Brooklyn's head twitch when she talks about email marketing. And I'm like, pass it to me.
Yes,
Um,
gladly. Here you
yeah.
go. So if I have something to say, I'll chime in. But for the most part, this is all Angelin. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started so you can see the class.
Okay. And we're so excited to talk about this today because it really is such a good tool for business owners to have some type of lead gen campaign in place. And what we're going to teach you in this class, it's beginner. Okay. It is beginner. It is easy level. We're going to take the first step. Over time, you can do this again and again and get a little bit more advanced and do bigger and better things and learn how to do nurture sequences and all that. We just want to take you through that first step of creating a really good piece of marketing, a lead gen campaign to show your authority. And then we're going to teach you email marketing in the next step. Okay. So let's start here.
Yes, definitely. Let's start here. And I want to add something just really quick. A lead gen, back in the day, outbound marketing was when you got shouted at by radio ads and television and junk mail and just shout, shout, shout. Here's my thing, buy it. This is generating what we call inbound marketing. It's something that you are producing that provides value. And then obviously she's going to talk about this, gets people to come to you instead of us always shouting at everyone else. So,
yes. Okay, so you'll also hear it called a lead magnet. So lead gen and lead magnet are kind of used interchangeably just to do exactly what Brooklyn said. You're going to get something from these people, and in this case, this is their email address in exchange for something of value that you can provide. So we're going to go into all kinds of details about what that looks like for you. But lead magnets are tools that provide something of value for your audience in exchange for their contact information. Businesses use lead magnets to build their email list, get this thing of value by registering here. You probably see these all the time, whether or not you're registering that that's what you're doing. We'll talk about some more fun examples here for you to see. Okay, why do you need a lead magnet? Well, first of all, it is a tool to help you grow your email list. But this also creates authority for your brand and gives you an educational tool you can share in multiple ways. When I first created our first lead magnet, which was the Reels Starter PDF, I had no idea we would use that tool in classes and presentations over and over. And it was a really good tool for us to teach on. I printed out for worksheets. It has become one of our kind of signature tools. So I realized that that was another benefit of creating something like this. It gives you like tangible materials that you can share with your audience in multiple different ways. So these are good things. We have a few now, but we're going to show you how you can create one, at least one, start with one, and you'll use it multiple ways. But the main thing here is we want to capture that email list.
Yeah, and another way that we use it is when we're doing presentations or small speeches or classes or whatever for realtors and stuff like that. You can literally use this lead gen at the end of those classes. If you don't want to pivot, or whatever, sell them something, and you want their email address and you want to capitalize on the audience that you're speaking to, that's another way that you can use this, because you can say, hey, click here and get my free blah, blah, blah. And then you've gotten the entire audience's email address. Pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so this is where we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty. Lead magnets can be used in two ways. So let's kind of talk about this. A give value and get email format, which is the only purpose of this is that you want to capture their email address. So it's a simple concept of like, here's an example. Download the guide, 50 Real Starters Idea. Get it now. You put your email address into the form, and then all of a sudden you get this email in your inbox that says, here's this piece we promised. Just click on the button and download this Real Starter form. Okay, that's it. That was my main purpose. Now they're in my email list and I'm going to continue to nurture them. We'll talk about that later, but I have delivered the value for capturing their email list. Or lead magnet can generate two outcomes for the business owner. Number one, you capture their email. Number two, the value they receive is like a mini sample of something else you offer. So a pivot to pitch or to purchase a course, product, subscription, or event. Typically, this second option is video based. Okay. And we will dive into examples of that here in just a second. So I don't get too far ahead of myself, but there's two ways: the give and get, or the give you a little more, and then I'm going to sell you something else. Okay.
And this right here is an example of that. This was our give and pivot to a pitch.
We started farmers marketing last month because we wanted to kind of model this for you. So you can go back and look at some of our marketing for it too. Examples of lead gens. And these are kind of in that first section that we're going to talk about, that we talked about, kind of the give and get idea, typically. A webinar, a white paper. Oh, and the webinar could be like an interview. All right, there's interviews, one of them. So a webinar could be a DIY on a subject. It could be a quick how-to. It could be one easy lesson, just not too long. You don't want to make it too long. The white paper could be a little ebook. It could be a written subject. We're going to give some examples here in a minute. An interview with an expert, that's a great one, special guest. A helpful video. I love this idea of the DIY. If you are in a category where you have a DIY, the videos where you can show them how to repaint this cabinet is definitely a great way. People love DIY stuff. An interactive quiz. Some of you are in businesses where a quiz is an excellent tool. A spreadsheet, template, or checklist. I can think of several of you who could provide a spreadsheet template that you could share with people to help them. It's like a formula-based or budgeting or a checklist for buying a new home or all kinds of things like that that would be so helpful for those of us who are not great at that. A worksheet or a list of resources or tools. That's another great one too. Okay. Here's our top 5 suggestions. Now there's a million different options. So we've narrowed it down to our top 5 suggestions. I would love for you to pick one of these 5 just because I think they're the simplest. And we're going to help walk you through this. So let's talk about your objective first. If you want to, okay, you can go to the next one. If you want to give and get, okay, capture your email address into your email program and have an authority piece that you can repurpose in other ways. So again, this is kind of that first part that we talked about. Then I suggest one of these 3, okay? A white paper / mini course on a single subject of high interest. Now, don't try to, I know the temptation right now, your head is going, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Hold off on that for just a minute. Let's get through this first because we're going to walk you through how to figure out what is the right subject for you to talk about, okay? So just listen with both ears, as a teacher might say, for this part, and then we'll come back to what might be right for you. Number 2, an interactive quiz. Again, I think there's some really fun ideas for you if that matches your business. Or number 3, that template or checklist that simplifies something complicated in your industry that your audience would love. So think about what your audience wants and what you have expertise in. That's your key. Now, if your objectives are to, number 1, capture their email address into your email program, and then to sell a next step, then you're going to do this type of lead magnet, which is a recorded video of a mini course, or you're going to do a live class on Facebook or Zoom. These are video based. The beauty of it is to provide a small taste of value in this content and pitch a next step. Let me give you an example. Back when I was just starting, left my corporate job and I was starting on my own as a marketing manager, I came across, probably on Facebook ad, I'm guessing, this woman named Kat Caroy. She's English, and she was doing this ad, and I clicked on it, and it was like, register for my free 1-hour course on how to speak to your ideal avatar or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I want to take that. So I registered for that free class. And then in that free class, she has this massive, it was a 8-week email class, social media marketing class that she taught. And we got one class every week. Okay. So she had this big class that she wanted to sell, but she took one class, one tiny subject that she probably talked about inside the class for about 15 minutes, but she made it a 1-hour class. She probably talked about it for about 35, 40 minutes. And then she talked about some other things around it, but she kind of exploded out this one little thing. Okay. And then she pitched her big class. So she gave us this for free, just this one thing for free. And then she pitched the class. And I would love to know what her conversion rate is, because I bought the class and took the whole thing. And then I went back and I thought about, okay, here's that part where she talked about in class number 3, I took this in the free class. So she covered this subject, but she also used different examples. She didn't cover it as in depth in the class. It was like such a good example of this one thing. Okay. If you only took the 1-hour class, you would have gotten value. It was great. It was beefy, but it was micro. Okay. So you give them a small taste of the value in this content and pitch them a next step. So this is a great solution if you have something bigger that you're trying to sell, a subscription, tickets to an event, a product, a course. This is a good example of how you could sell that. And also you're also capturing their email. So I still get her emails to this day. She nurtures us all the time. Okay.
So with that mini course and or a Zoom, either one of them are recorded. And then couldn't you repurpose those and sell those for $11.99? Watch my recorded 1-hour Zoom and repurpose this later too.
You sure could. I mean, I know for her, she uses that as a funnel. And I know hers is recorded, and it's something that she just has to set up where I'm sure people think she's live, but it's an absolutely recorded, and she just uses it as her funnel over and over and over. Mm-hmm. It runs through her ads. So yeah, you could. Okay, so let's go back to this. Is I love that we have the levels on here at the bottom. This is easy. Okay, so we're going to start with easy. A white paper or a mini course on a single subject of high interest. Here's another one that we use. It is our Instagram bio makeover page. This is one that we know everybody needs. It's something that we talk about all the time. We know it by heart, but people think this is very high value. They love to know about their Instagram bio and how they can convert it into something a little more effective. So we created this cool piece on Canva, and we use this as a lead gen offer in a lot of our classes. We could share it. We probably should share it more on Instagram. To get it, we need to create a little a sequence for this. But you can create something very easily on Canva. One of our students, Kathleen, was talking this morning about this flow chart for cleaning out your closet that she created. And it's kind of a one-sheet thing. She can make it multiple sheets if she wanted. Kind of expand out, make it a little beefier, make it a little bit more valuable. It can be a several-page little ebook. It can be a one-page document, but whatever you think your audience will see value. And I'll tell you, you'll know right away if people perceive it to be high value, because they are clicking on it to get it. And if they're not, you might need to try something different. Here's examples of a white paper. Now let me just say this right now. The only point what we're trying to do in this class is to create the product, your lead gen, your lead magnet product. We are not going to dive into the marketing until a little bit later in the second class, where we kind of talk about the email sequence and the marketing. But I want you to just get an idea of how this works. Okay, so this is Jen's Trends. She's a social media coach. She did a post about getting this 12 Reels topics that actually work. She did a post on that. It said link in my bio. If you go to her link in bio, you'll see her link tree here. And you'll see the second one down is download 12 Reels topics ebook. That takes you to this form right here. Yep, there you go. And then that takes you to this form right here. You put in your email address, your first and last name, and she even has a couple of other segmenting things, which you don't have to worry about, but she's a little more advanced. And so send me the Reels guide. When you click on that, you're going to get her Reels guide in your inbox right away.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say, when Angelin says we're just talking about in this class, you picking one of these 5 products to create, when she says we're going to teach you the marketing in the next class, not only is the marketing, but it's the logistics of how to get that one thing into something that looks like this. So the next class teaches you how to blast it out to the world, but first we're going to teach you where to put it and how to make it go, so to speak.
Yes, it actually, the very first step in the next class is to start with your email program and get an audience segment, and then create a form, and then create a workflow email that delivers that form to them. This is very easy stuff. Don't let it intimidate you. I promise you, you're going to be addicted to how fun and easy it is.
And step by step, you're going to be guided step by step. Yes.
Here's another example of a white paper. This is the Refined Collective. She's a dating coach, or a woman's empowering, she's a Christian dating coach thing. She has a lot of really interesting perspectives, and she has a link tree on her page. You take it to the link tree, and she has get my free sex ed resource guide. I think that's for parents that are teaching sex ed the Christian way. She also has a few other things, but if you click on that, her very first one is a lead gen offer. You go to it, and she has a resource guide. Okay. You enter your email address, sign up. Really what you're doing is signing up for her email list, and then she'll email you that guide.
And look how simple this is. Download the guide, email address. The one before is like email, first name, last name, email. It doesn't have to be that complicated. Hers is super simple.
Yep. And that is a landing page you're going to create in your email program. Okay. Yep. Okay. Number 2, an interactive quiz. So this one is this is a little bit more challenging just because you have to think of all the content involved in it. But this, if a quiz sounds fun to you, screenshot this, because I want you to try these 2 different, look at these 2 different platforms for quizzes, Typeform or Xero. So you don't have to know all the technology behind the quiz. You just have to create the questions and the answers. It's simple to use. It looks very professional, which is a plus. You can kind of make it look how you want it to look, but you do have to create all the question and answers, which that makes my head hurt. But for some of you that have a lot of quiz, content that would work for this, it's going to be fun. You gain insight from their quiz answers, which I think is also really a huge bonus, right? It's almost like it gives you some data to work with too.
Really great social media content.
Yes, very much so. The cons is that this one has a monthly cost involved to be on Typeform or Xero. This is not totally free technology, but it's good. Here's some quiz examples. What is your interior design type? Who is your style icon? How strong is your financial planning health? Or which diet plan could be the easiest for you to stick with? I could think of several of you who could use a quiz that people would love. They're interactive. People do love quizzes. Think about all that Facebook stuff you see. Why do you think they do those? So they can get your Facebook information. That's why they're doing it. But several of you could be using, I'm thinking about like even with our pickleball client, you know, all these different things of what pickleball paddle might be right for you, or, you know, all the different things that you can you think of another fun quiz idea?
Yeah, I could, well, for all of our House of Color people and what's their style and stuff, they could pare that down and just say, something like, I don't know. I can't think of a specific one, but I have a lot of ideas. I just don't know what they would be called.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. Interior
It takes a different kind of, takes a Jeopardy mind to be able to do a quiz in a way, but you can go and Google quizzes for days and find really great questions of quizzes that people have already created, and you can take and tweak and make them your own.
My favorite thing about a quiz is that I think it's engaging. People want to talk about themselves, so they love anytime they can put in their own data. And I think I love the benefit of that you get the data from it. You can create content from that. I love both of those things about a quiz.
Yeah, and it's a very shareable piece of content. Like, oh, I took this quiz, you should take it too. What's your style, or what's your color? What's your, you know, what diet are you going to go on? Let's do it together. Whatever. It's a very shareable thing. Yeah.
Okay, a checklist or a template. This speaks to my Enneagram 3 personality. I love this. Simplify something complicated. The product delivered is a specific template or checklist rather than information. So this, you're giving them a tool, okay? Not just a how to do a tool. You're giving them a tool. So it could be like a Google Sheet template, like all the numbers are plugged in and they just have to put their information in there. Could be a planner. Okay, we could have some kind of tool that helps you plan a whole month's worth of content. I think we have some other examples of this one too. Let's see. And again, this is something that's pretty easy to share. Okay, checklist or template. Great. Grocery staples for starting the paleo diet program. This could be good. You could make it into a checklist where they can see what's in their pantry, already have it, make a list, some kind of fun tool. For beginning a new home search. Template for meal prepping, or guideline for creating a capsule wardrobe. Checklist templates. Love those.
Yes, I would definitely. All 4 of these would be.
I know. I want somebody to create all those for me, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this is again an example of how we use it. So it's on, you know, if you go to our Instagram and then you click over to our bit.ly link, which is our link tree, you'll be able to see different free resources that we have here. And then, you know, we deliver the Instagram bio makeover or the Real Starter Guide, all kinds of things. So we're using it on our link tree. Okay, the next 2 examples are the video-based ones for capturing an email address and also pitching a next step. Could be a course, a product, a subscription, or an event.
The next step could be that, right?
The one in between. Yes, that's right. The ultimate goal of what you're trying to sell.
Got it.
Both examples in the following slides share similar content. They both provide the what and the why behind a specific topic. The difference between these 2 is in the delivery method. Okay. Pre-recorded video. So this is where you could actually house this video. You could create a video. You could put it on, you could record it on zoom.com. You could put it on Vimeo. You could do a Loom. You have to have a place for this video to live where you're sharing a URL. Okay. So you could also put it on YouTube, I suppose. But typical duration, 15 to 30 minutes. It's a mini course that teaches one thing. Meg's a great example of this. She takes and kind of one element of one subject and really dive in deep. Again, she's giving meaty, but it's so narrow. Okay. People are going to have tons of questions, but they can see the value of her teaching at this deep of a level. That's going to give them an example of how she teaches. And since she's a health coach, this is a great use of something that a coach would use.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and these live on her Instagram, I'm sorry, her YouTube.
mhm.
And she has a YouTube channel of frequently asked questions where she does a deep dive into frequently asked questions that she gets. And I think this one particularly is, what is a functional nutritional therapy practitioner? And so she answers that question, just what sets her apart. And that's a deep dive. Now, I don't know that that's necessarily a mini course, right?
Right.
But
it would be more of like if she was going to teach about the paleo diet, how to eat, what to eat for breakfast on a paleo diet. Maybe that's a mini course. Yeah, very specific, a mini course. And we're going to dive into breakfast and how you can survive on paleo diet, but then we're not going to talk about lunch and dinner.
Right.
Okay. This is another one that I think is really interesting. Adam LaDolce, he's a dating coach. Can you tell my stage of life? I swear. But this video offers value, but it also pitches his subscription coaching service. So I get tons of emails from him, and I think it's just really interesting. His video lives inside his email. They're short though. They're really short, but he'll give you one tiny subject. He'll give you the value on that and then pitch you, a subscription service to be part of his program.
Mm-hmm. And the way that lives inside there is that's embedded from Vimeo.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to be careful about that because a lot of times it can be,
Get your email not opened up too much.
Right. Okay. The other idea is to drive people to a live webinar event where you can get the energy of people watching you live, and you're sharing that content in more of a live format rather than a pre-recorded. Same exact content. Again, just another delivery method. Where could you do this? You could do this on Zoom. We suggest a webinar, not a meeting, because the meeting is going to involve other people's faces and you're going to look like a meeting. The webinar is kind of a push out. It's a one way, and you can convert your Zoom account from a meeting account to a webinar account for 1 month if you want. You don't have to, it's not like a long-term subscription is my point, is that it costs maybe, I don't know, less than $20 to just flip it to a webinar for 1 month, and then you can downgrade back down to a meeting. So it's an easy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can also do Facebook Live via StreamYard, or YouTube Live via StreamYard as well. So there's a couple ways to deliver that live webinar event. And then you're going to use an email list landing page for registration. So remember that landing page where we saw where you would register for the white paper? Well, now you're just going to use the same type of form, but what it's going to do is then send them an email to say, hey, your live event starts in 30 minutes. Make sure you're there. Here's the link to click on to where you're going to be.
Yep.
Okay, this is a good example. So we did the farmers marketing. We marketed it. We did several posts about it. We said link in bio. They came to our Next Chapter Social link tree, clicked on register for farmers marketing. And that's not there now because the class is over, but it was there when we had it. And then it delivered them this email. This was an email. This was another marketing way that we sent out. So we had it in our link tree. We also sent out emails to our general list and said, join us for farmers marketing. We sent them an email that says, hey, it starts tomorrow. Hey, it starts in 30 minutes. And then we did it live on our Facebook page.
I love the screenshot you chose here because I know I did not choose that. That was not me.
I took about 3 of them. They all looked like that. All right. So now I'm sure your mind is turning about like, what am I going to create for my lead gen? Well, let's kind of start here. Let's take a few steps back. We're going to go all the way back to the beginning of Social Club when we taught you about finding your ideal audience. Okay. Let's go back to your ideal customer avatar. Sometimes we have to revisit this over and over and over. We always want to remind ourselves, make sure we're speaking to our ICA. What are their problems and the concerns and the needs and the wants that they have? This is not about you. You're going to be an expert in many things, but what do they need? Identify one problem that you can solve. Be micro, not macro. Again, think about the what and the why and just give them a small taste of the how. Okay. So again, just start before you even start thinking of all these ideas, go back and begin with your ideal customer and what they have. Okay, next one. Who is your ideal customer? What is her name? What is her age? What is her gender, race, culture, marital status, where they live, income, occupation, any other relevant demographic details? Please get so specific. I don't care if you make her up, if she's, Jamie, who is married with 2 kids, lives in, downtown Frisco, cheerleading mom, owns a interior decorating shop. I don't know. Be specific. Think about who you really want to work with, because when you are writing marketing to her, you're going to be a much better marketer. You're going to stop talking to the masses and you're going to find your person. Okay. You're still going to find other people, but you're going to be better at it because you're finding her.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is really going to help you to develop what piece you're going to create. So think about these in terms of your product or business. Ask these questions. What do they do in their free time? Where do they shop? What shows do they watch? What influencers do they follow? What are their guilty pleasures? What do they dream about? This is the good one. What do they dream about doing or having? What do they worry about or stress over? And if money were no object, what would they buy? And what is a dream solution for their problem? Okay. What would they be able to do, get, or achieve if their fantasy situation came true? And the reason that these questions are so important is because you want to sell them on the fantasy situation and how they can get there. Okay. You're going to help them figure out how they can get what they dream about, or how they can avoid what they worry and stress about with your product.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you provide to your ICA that would help move them from stress to dream scenarios? Think about it from their perspective, not yours. What's their pain point or frustration? What do they need most? And, I can't help but think of this example again, where we were talking about Kathleen, just because we just worked with her on this. But she had this closet clean out flow system that she was working on, and it was very good. But after we really looked at it with her, we realized that the way she thought that it would flow, when she started talking with us, we helped her see that actually her final step should be her first step. Because we were talking to her from our perspective, we're her dream client. We were helping her see that that's not actually how we think about it. We had it flipped, and now it makes a whole lot more sense, right? So you have to put the hat on of your ICA, not just what you think.
Right.
Ask a friend. If you have people that you work with that are clients, ask them. Say, can I buy a coffee? I want to ask a few questions. Or call them and say, do you have a minute? I want to, talk to you about some things. Anytime you can get their perspective, that is ideal. But if not, you need to ask some friends, say, help me brainstorm this. So don't be afraid, because honestly, what we think is often not quite the case,
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully by now you've had an aha idea. So let's talk about the best delivery method for your lead magnet. And don't worry if you haven't yet. Just walk away, get a drink of water, take a fresh, walk around the block, and I promise you it will come to you. But here's what I want to be aware. This comes up all the time. Knowledge syndrome. what you're thinking in your head is, yeah, I could do that, but everyone knows that, or it's so basic, or it's common knowledge, but it's not. Okay. So this is something you have to be so aware of. What you think that you deal in all the time is so duh. It's definitely not for most people. Like, go back to that paleo breakfast ideas. You think I have, just because I know what I can eat on the paleo diet, does that really translate to me knowing how to make breakfast? That no, it stumps me. I'm just confused.
And quite
So
frankly, even if we know how to do it, we just want you to tell us again.
that's right. That's right.
Take the thinking out.
I would for sure sign up for that little mini webinar. Tell me. And we come across this all the time too, because we live in social media. So many of the things that we take for granted that everybody knows how to do that, they don't. And we have to go back to the simplest things. And some of our best liked posts are things that we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that actually resonated with people. But it does. So what you know well is good. That's going to be a good sign. If you know it well and you get asked that all the time, that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can't wait to hear what you're thinking. But all I want you to do in this section right now that we've just talked about before the next class, I want you to think about your lead gen product, your lead magnet. You're going to create that product.
I'm going to go back and let them know the 5, which
Yes.
one it is.
Okay, let's go back to the first 5. You're going to choose
Either
a white paper, mini course on a single subject, an interactive quiz, or a template or checklist that simplifies something complicated. You're going to come up with that. Or you're going to come up with the plan for a recorded course or a live class.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to have this fully created and ready to go. Maybe you haven't done you're not going to have done the live class if you choose a class. But you're going to have this ready to go. If it's a product, have it done, ready, PDF print off, ready to deliver before we have the next class.
Yeah, and just to go over that a little bit, let's just talk about how we prepare these classes, because I mean, it's just a matter of, like she said, figure out who you're speaking to and figure out something that you can do that would deliver value to them, and pick which of the 5 ways is the best way to deliver that. Then once you hone in on what you're going to deliver, you can start Googling and figuring out and watching how-tos and stuff on how to make a Ceros.com quiz, or, how to use Canva to create a white paper, or whatever that is. You can start doing a deeper dive. When you have a focus, you can find the information that you need. And then you take all of your knowledge and put it in that format.
Right. So what I don't want you to get too far ahead of yourself is this next part, because we are going to teach it to you. We're going to teach you how to market your new lead magnet product. We're going to teach you how to create a landing page that auto sends your lead gen to them. I'm going to tell you how and where to use your landing page. This is coming. So right now, all you need to do is get that lead gen product created.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is your homework. Other than what we just said, create your lead gen. But you're also going to sign up for an email provider if you don't already have one. We recommend Flowdesk with our whole hearts.
With our whole heart.
And the reason I say this is because I know them all. I just created a post last night about this that we'll share, but I have worked in all of the big email platforms for different marketing companies that I've worked for. And I will tell you, for entrepreneurs, hands down, Flowdesk, it was probably created by women. And it was probably created by women entrepreneurs, because they're like, there's nothing else out there that really makes sense. So they created Flowdesk, and it is the answer. It's very inexpensive. It's easy to use, and it gives you unlimited contacts. You don't pay per number of contacts. So it is by far the most cost-effective one on the market and the easiest to use.
I
say
agree.
All have really pretty templates. Okay. Mm-hmm. The second thing is you're going to sign up for your email provider. If you don't have one, please use Flowdesk. If you do, I'm going to teach you on Flowdesk, but you'll still get the concept and you'll be able to apply it to MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever you use.
And I want to say on Flowdesk, if you go to nextchaptersocial.com, click on tools of the trade. We've linked Flowdesk under our tools of the trade. Those are all the tools we recommend that you use, that we use ourselves. And most of those are all affiliate links, obviously, but they're also something that gives you something more than what you would get if you just went to the website. So if you go to nextchaptersocial.com, click on tools of the trade on our menu bar, scroll down to Flowdesk and use that link. It will give you, I think, maybe a free month or something.
No, get this. You get half off for your entire first year.
Oh, well, there you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Shows how much I know. I don't even know what the link
$19 a month, you guys. $19 a month for Flowdesk. It's incredible. All right, so please do that. And then sign up for a Linktree. Now, these are free. There's lots of fun options out there. If you use Plan, some of you already have Plan. They have a really easy link is what it's called, that they do there. Linktree is also something that you could just Google and create one. But now Canva has one that we love. Do I have a slide on that next? I can't remember if I showed that or if it's in the next class.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Here's a couple of options.
But I do want to say this: Plan and Canva are also linked in Tools of the Trade.
Okay, great. All right. So the one on the left here is our one that we had with Plan. So you can see kind of what that looks like. And then I created on Canva and I've updated it because I liked this one a little bit better, but they're both great. So either one is fine. But the Canva, this is how you do it. You may want to screenshot this if you want to create it on Canva. What you're going to search for is the BioLink website. And then it brings up all these cool templates in Canva. You choose a template, you change your photos and your brand colors, you highlight the text, and then the text you can link to any URL, and then you publish that website. And then it becomes like a little mini landing page, and then it gives you a URL, and that's the URL you will share on your Instagram profile.
So this is made with Canva, and this is made with Linktree.
Plan.
Plan.
The easy link on Plan. Yep. Both are great.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, guys.